Hey, this is Matt Wall, Site Selection and Location Advisor with Sterling Properties Group based in Charlotte. In this week's video installment on our series Site Selection A to Z, we're going to look at the letter G and talk about the term geotechnical. And recall in the video for the letter E 2 weeks ago that we talked about environmental contamination. That topic related to dirty soil or soil that is unusable because it may have fuel or hazardous chemicals in it. And your client hired experts to check for contamination in a report called the Phase 1 ESA, or Environmental Site Assessment. Well, there's another critical investigation or report your client is going to want to get on the site, and that's called a geotechnical survey. And instead of looking for chemical contaminants in the soil we talked about, in the geotechnical report, we're looking for site conditions that will impact the design and construction of your building. So engineers will be looking specifically at soil quality and soil composition and what is underneath the surface of the soil on any particular site. We're making sure the site will literally hold the building without falling down or sliding or sinking away. This geotechnical engineer is going to do soil borings across the site to see what type of soils are there, whether there are rocks or buried trash or other items underneath the surface that might cause a problem for the building structure and the parking and the driveways over the life of those structures. Different types of soils have different strengths. You've heard wise men talk about building houses on sand. Well, they don't hold, and this is the same exact concept. The geotechnical engineers who write the report are going to give you recommendations based on what they find in their soil investigations on what size footings are going to be needed to support the building on this particular site. They're going to want to know whether any of the soils on site are unsuitable soils that may need to be moved or replaced. They're going to want to know whether there are rocks or boulders under the surface, which might make trouble for you when you dig footings or trenches or holes for grease traps or basements or other under-slab structures of these buildings. So these geotechnical tests will need to be done during your due diligence period. The presence of bad soils or other subsurface conditions represent an area of real unknown risks without these investigations, and it'll have an impact on the cost to develop the site. So always encourage your clients to get a geotechnical report on the property that you're looking at buying before you buy it. And a pro tip, geotechnical investigations are a critical item for your client to order in their due diligence process. Ultimately, when a site is developed, they will be building on compacted soil. And if you're buying a developed site, the optimal standard of compaction might be something like a 95% compaction rate. Always ask your seller and the selling agent if the site was ever filled in prior history. And if it was filled, you'd like to see evidence that the site was filled with clean soils and that soil was properly compacted. You don't want to pay a premium for a pre-graded site if the work will have to be redone by your client to guarantee the soil compaction is right. So that's G for geotechnical in our series Site Selection A to Z. I hope that was helpful. Please share your thoughts on the topic and let me know if I can ever help you with site selection. This is Matt Wall with Sterling Properties Group signing out. Thank you.